somebody wants their software upgraded, we do that for them. And we help you to get the maximum out of your life through spiritual healing methodologies. Reiki is one of them. The word Reiki is Japanese because that is the rediscovery of this energy that happened some years ago. Reiki is actually, if you translate it, it means universal life force, which is Brahma. So it's a spiritual energy using which you can change a lot of things that are happening in your life in every area. So it changes your health condition, it changes your wealth condition, your relationships. Whatever is happening to you, whatever is downloading in your life, you can actually improve it many times. There are, of course, there is the spiritual element to it to get to the ultimate point of spiritual objectives. And besides that, it helps you to change practically everything in your life. And the more you cooperate with that energy, the more the change will take place. Keep meditating, you start generating more of that energy. So if you are meditating on the negative, it's more likely to present itself. Or you are more likely to take the option that will drive you in that direction. So that is one. As far as the anxiety and the fears, basically the anxieties and fears are coming from an idea that we will lose our support system wherever you have it. And the ultimate support system is your body. And that fear of death is the greatest fear, that is the ultimate fear. And it translates into fear of not having what I have today. So a person say, I'm afraid of the unknown, what will happen tomorrow? No, you're not afraid of the unknown, you're afraid what will happen if I lose what I've got today. You can't be afraid of something you don't know, but you can be afraid of losing what you have. So those things are there, and then there may be a certain amount of lack of confidence. So when you do Reiki, it will address all your fears. Because Reiki is a loving energy, it is the heart energy of the divine. It's unconditional love. So you may be a criminal for all we know. We have many criminals who are Reiki channels, I'm sure. And in the past we've had a few who were criminals not only in this life but in previous lives. So, but it's available to anyone who approaches. Somehow you pay off your dues, your debt, and you get a ticket to enter into the Reiki circle. And you can be coming from anywhere. It doesn't matter. You could be coming for any reason. It doesn't matter. And Reiki will gradually assuage all your fears. It will address situations that you're fearful of and give you more confidence. So it's not like a boosting one's own morale situation, or I now psych myself into a situation, I go to a psychiatrist and use some psychological methods and psych myself up. It's nothing like that. It is coming from a deep inner change. And when you have that change, you are confident you can address or tackle any problem that you face. It's not that you're not going to face problems. Of course, they will become less and less as time goes by. But you will be able to deal with them adequately and move on. The problem is we get stuck and then we don't go anywhere and we get some bad result and we say, life is not moving. So as long as you don't change, there's a limit to how much Reiki is going to do for you. Reiki will do a lot. And then say, okay, now grow up, do this also. And you say, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, then you stay here. Then you experience more pain because you're resisting. So the more we resist, the more pain we have. And then we say, doctor, take away my headache, but I will continue to blame that person for everything that went wrong in my life. Well, it can't happen. It's a package deal. You give up the blame and your pain will immediately vanish. So that's one of the things, that instead of looking at people or events or things to blame, I take the responsibility to move on from where I am. So Reiki will help you do that. Then you have no issues.
So, actually just to add to this, issues of anxiety and depression and self-doubt. So, in almost all of the cases, or in fact in 100% of the cases, you know that what is the right way, what is the solution to the problem and how do you take it forward. But then, there's something which, you just can't be consistently working towards a solution to it, because there's some negative energy or some force which doesn't allow you to do that. So how does Reiki would help in that?
See, what doesn't allow you to do that is the force of your own negative karma.
So that negative karma is something which I'm carrying from a previous karma.
Yeah, it could be yesterday, it could be 10 days ago, it could be 10 years ago, it could be last lifetime. It could be 4 lifetimes ago. Because there is an accumulation, there is a bank balance of karma which you actually carry the record of it in your root chakra, in your Mooladhara chakra. And if you look at it, it spins and it looks like a 4-petaled lotus. It's described as a 4-petaled lotus. And consider that the hard drive of your body. That's the hard drive that has the operating system. Your Kundalini is the RAM, and the random access is going on back and forth, and then you're thinking, and from your false ego, in your false ego chakra, your Swadhisthana chakra, you are going to your thought process, and then you are taking a decision. And you are interacting with other chakras which are fear-based chakras. And then you are interacting with greed chakras, which is your solar plexus chakra. So there's a huge interchange and exchange going on. Now, which one will you decide to go? It depends what is your consciousness at that time. So when you are doing Reiki, your consciousness rises to the wisdom chakra. And hopefully you start to take better decisions even if they are troublesome ones. The default setting is as your ego guides you, you are going to do. So that is the biggest problem. If you look at all the religious spiritual systems, they say the false ego is the biggest enemy, and that has to be conquered somehow. So unless the false ego is transparent, you can't see the truth. So healing will help you to do all of that. The Reiki will rationalize and harmonize, but the moment you start thinking, no, this is my ego position, I have to act like this, what will people think, what will this one think, I have to maintain a certain position. Now to some extent that is valid, but you still have the option within those to take a better decision. And the reason that you may be stopping taking a decision, that will become clear to you when you do Reiki. Or some other alternative will present itself. Typically what happens, the situation changes. It's quite a funny thing. Not funny, but it's a very strange thing. What happens is that when I come across people who get connected to Reiki, they say we are like feeling tied hand and foot and totally bound. Hil nahi sakte, kuch bhi nahi kar. So I said, okay, you do nothing. You can't move, you can't do anything, you don't have a job, you don't have this, you don't have that. You sit here and do healing 4 hours a day. Just do this cycle as we are telling you. And just by healing your chakras, the world around you will change. They'll say, how is that possible? So you do it and see. And they do it and they see. I am doing nothing. I am just installing the energy in the chakra points as I have been told how to do it. And suddenly things around me start changing. I do nothing. So this is very, very typical, that you'll find that your life suddenly starts to change even though you did not take a proactive role. So that also happens. So many things get resolved in that. Many things get resolved. If you discuss with people who've done Reiki and you talk about this in your conversations, you will find out that they will have some instances which will reflect this. They just couldn't move and somehow suddenly the life changed. I remember when I first got connected to Reiki, and I used to go to Israel to do a lot of seminars. So right after I got connected, somehow through Reiki's grace, I would say, people from there contacted me, we heard of you, can you come here and do some seminars? Okay. I'll come and do. And this went on for quite some time. And then I went to see an astrologer and I said, here's my patri. And I had seen him earlier also. So he had predicted very bad times for me. So when I went there and I showed him the patri and I said, how has life been? He said, but first, how has life been? I must tell you, last 1 year has been very bad for you. So I said, why? He said, the worst year of your life. I said, no. I said, how do you mean worst year of your life? He said, so much trouble, so much financial trouble, so much this trouble. So I said, I have been traveling and staying 6-8 months in the year abroad, and I earned so much more money than I earned in the last 10 years. So he said, see, that's the trouble. I said, what's the trouble? You have to leave home. I said, grow up, get some sense. So it's like that. I mean, things will come out of the blue, but it's all, you can say, coincidences start manifesting. And I always like to say that, the hinges of fate are coincidences. That's what your fate turns out. So Reiki multiplies these hinges and you keep rotating faster and faster. You get more of these options of door opening and the bad doors closing. And we have seen this time and time again, especially in relationship to court cases. I mean, chap's going in, he knows it, his lawyer knows it, but somehow he gets free. Somehow.